we go. Jerry McCart's coming up with a bunch of tremendously cheesy excuses right now. Well, I had to be there. I couldn't see this. My dog ate my homework. Bob paid somebody, he paid the air boss $50 to park the Kate there. You better come up with more money then. Hey, we're for hire up here, you know? Yeah, he's gonna, Jerry is saying that he's gonna have to spot $100 to get a fair run. All right, I'm in for that. Well, we'll take up a GoFundMe site, okay? Jerry, how fast did you go? Only 281? Oh, I know. And the faster you go with that, the shorter the runway gets. No, that was an early start with a short runway. we can prove it. Anyway, we'll see you tomorrow. The sound of that Pratt Whitney R2800. You're going to get to hear that in flight in just a few moments. John Currenti at the controls of the Corsair. We have Alan Armstrong, who's an aviation lawyer and writer here in the Kate. By the way, John Currenti flies 777s. He's first officer on 777s, flying for a major airline.
These are tough enough. These got guys right on the ladies. They were passing around like this because the pilot
Here comes John Currenti in the Corsair. The sounds you just listened to, the Kate was 1,000 horsepower. The Corsair was over 2,200 horsepower. Woohoo! While these airplanes are going out, in the Corsair was Pratt & Whitney R2800. That is 2,800 cubic inches for you motorheads out there. And it's capable of producing 2,250 horsepower. It's also capable of burning $6 a gallon aviation gasoline at an absolutely horrendous rate. But that's okay, because we were fighting a war, we needed horsepower, we had the gasoline back then. And it wasn't $6 a gallon either. They're gonna come by here at a hot pass. We're gonna have Alan Armstrong out there, followed by John Currenti. The Kate had a crew of 3, originally powered by a Nakajima NK-1B Sakai 11 radial engine developing 1,000 horsepower. It was capable maximum speed of 235 miles an hour. Maximum range was about 1,237 miles. The Kate was used with deadly efficiency during the attack on Pearl Harbor. I cannot imagine the crew of those battleships out there on Battleship Row looking and seeing these Kates coming in, dropping torpedoes headed right for their ships. Alan Armstrong at the controls. The Nakajima B5N Kate. I do believe we're under attack. From the right, screaming in, here's the good guy, the Corsair. You can see significant speed difference between the two airplanes. Now, I did tell you earlier that there were no original Kates flying, and they're not. But this airplane, this particular Kate, has a fair amount of history to it. Started life as an SNJ, which was crashed in 1963. Well, Hollywood was gearing up for the movie Tora, Tora, Tora. This airplane was rebuilt from 1967 to 1968 to look like a Kate. The Corsair, however, is original. Trust me on that. The armament on board the Kate was one 7.7 millimeter Type 1992 machine gun in a trainable position at the rear cockpit, and 2 7.7 millimeter Type 97 machine guns in the wings. On some of them, not all of them were equipped with that. It could carry a 1,700-pound torpedo, or 2 550-pound bombs, or 6 300-pound bombs. From the right, coming in, here's Alan Armstrong with the Kate. I know. I know somebody is on their smartphone right now on Amazon trying to get a copy of Tora, Tora, Tora. Here's the Corsair. The Corsair was distinctive for several things. First, it was the first naval fighter capable of speeds in excess of 400 miles per hour. That's why they needed that big engine up front, that 2,800 Pratt & Whitney. However, The Corsair also had a couple of issues that proved to be a little troublesome. For one thing, it was very difficult to land on an aircraft carrier because the landing gear was too bouncy. You'd catch the wire, you'd bounce the thing, and oh boy, it was bad if she bounced. Well, the British fixed it. What they did was they added softer springs and a different valve in the landing gear struts, and all of a sudden, this airplane was capable of landing on-board aircraft carriers, which worked out to be very good for us. But in the meantime, while the British were trying to fix this problem, the Marines were using Corsairs in ground attack roles, and they were very effective. Now, the Kate had one significant problem. It was a one-piece airplane, as were many of the Japanese aircraft, which means that if it got shot up and you couldn't repair it, you just kicked it over the side, let the factory build you a new one. And here we are. The Japanese Aero was a one-piece airplane too. Japanese built their airplanes very light. No armor plating, no self-sealing fuel tanks, all of them very bad. When we got on their tail and started shooting them up, all you had to do was puncture a fuel tank, get a couple of tracer rounds in there, poof, you're on fire. And that would be the end of the Japanese airplane. The Corsair was heavily armored and equipped with self-sealing fuel tanks. And you're probably wondering, why does it have that unique bend in the wings? Well, you have 2,200 horsepower up front, and to fully use it, well, you got to put a big propeller on it. It was 13 feet across, tip to tip. That's a big prop. And when you're landing on an aircraft carrier, the last thing you want to do is to bang that prop into the deck of the carrier. Bad for the ship, worse for the engine. A little thing called sudden stoppage can do major damage to the engine. So they needed really tall landing gear. Now the problem was that really tall landing gear no longer fits into the wing of the airplane. So Chance thought, said, well, why don't we bend the wing down a little bit? That way we can keep shorter landing gear and it will still clear the prop while folding into the wing. That's exactly what they did. From the right, here's Alan Armstrong going by in the Nakajima B5N Kate. Right behind him, John Currenti in the Corsair. I just love the sound of that R2800. It just clatters as it goes off in the distance. Then, of course, you heard the P-51. Well, that airplane sings as she goes by. All right, get your cameras and your camcorders out. We understand here that they are going to reverse, and they're going to do some photo passes for you. So get your favorite photography method warmed up and ready to go, be it camcorder, camera, cell phone, watercolor set, or even just a pad and pencil. They're going to bring them around. We're going to do some photo passes for you here today, and then we're going to do intermission. We're going to take a half-hour break here, let everybody get rested up and watered, take a look at the airplanes here, and I myself am going to find this pesky fly and try to get rid of it. He's trying to use my radio. I think he wants to call up to the Corsair and ask for a ride. No, you can't have it. I have to tell you, a week ago, this very day, 1 week ago, I was up at Reading at the Mid-Atlantic Air Museum's World War II weekend. For 3 beautiful days, got to listen to the sounds of these aircraft. And here they are again, here at Greenwood Lake. Here's the Kate. Here comes the Corsair. Japanese call the Corsair whistling death. Very simple. The oil coolers that are embedded in the wing on the Corsair, in a very speedy dive, they scream on the way down. They whistle. Now remember, the interesting part about both of these aircraft is that they are shipboard based, which means that you're essentially landing on a postage stamp that's glued to the top of a cork. Bobs and weaves, rolls and pinches and yaws, and does all kinds of goofy things. And you've been out on a long mission, your airplane may be damaged, you might even be wounded, and you're trying to land on a postage stamp. Well, I'll tell you what, they did it, and they did it well. YouTube has plenty of film footage out there of carrier landings, some good, some not so good. Here's the Corsair on another high-speed pass. And you don't want to know about the fuel consumption. Let's just say that this airplane is getting slightly better fuel economy when compared to an oil heat furnace at home. Landing signal officer paddles, as he was called, on the carrier. He's standing on the side of the carrier. He's got a paddle in each hand, and he's mimicking the wings of the airplane. And what he's doing is he's cueing the pilot as to whether or not he's got a good approach to landing. If he gives you the cut, you pull the power back and you land. If he waves you off, you add power and go around. Paddle says, giving him the cut, here's the landing. Lots of video out there on YouTube of LSOs doing their job back during World War II. John Currenti is going to taxi back. And they all wound up in museums and in the hands of firms